Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to take the winter florals I taught you and turn them into a bouquet. So let's jump right in. Okay, so to start I'm going to go over my materials. I have my Arches watercolor paper, my Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolors, my brushes. I have a size 12, I have a size 4, and I have a size 2. I don't know if I'm going to use them all, but these are just the sizes I have on hand right now. They're by Princeton. They're Princeton snap brushes. And we're going to start. Okay, so we're going to take the florals that we learned in the last video, these ones, and we're going to make them into a bouquet. So when looking at a bouquet, like here I have a fake bouquet of flowers, you have different angles, right? So for the anemones, we're not going to do, this isn't an anemone, but just as an example, we're not going to do right on. We're going to be doing it to the side. So if you look at a flower from a perspective from the side, you see that these, that these petals are going to be longer in length, and then you're going to have these ones that you only see the side part of. So that's why we do like a short side. So we're going to have one going this way, one going the other way, and I'm just going to show you what I mean by that on paper. I apologize for my rambling. Okay, so first we're going to start with the cranberry color anemone, which I think is a really pretty color for a winter floral. So I have this reddish pink color that I mix with like an indigo. I think I said this in the last video, and I want it a bit more red this time, so I'm just going to add a bit more of the red color to it, maybe even a brighter red, because I really want it to be kind of holiday festive looking, but it has that kind of indigo purpley undertone. One of my favorite things to do is mix colors. You just gotta play around and see what you can make and what combinations. Okay, so maybe a bit more indigo. Okay, so I'm going to start by doing the cranberry color one, and I'm going to put it like angling down. So like imagine the middle of the flower is pointing this way. So the longer petals will be down here. Okay, and leave some white space. It just gives it an extra something something instead of being a big blob of color. Okay, so we have the long petals that way, and they're going to get shorter as we go around. To the side, because you're just seeing the side view. I'm just going to go back in, a bit more color towards the middle. Like that. Okay, and then so there's that flower, and now I'm going to do the indigo purpley color. So I'm just going to take the color I just used, but add more of the indigo, like navy color to it, so they complement each other. Okay, maybe a bit more of this. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other one, but the middle is going to be facing that way. And if you touch this a little and they bleed into each other, I think that kind of adds a nice little touch to it as well. So the short petals are on this side. Okay, do the long petals facing this way. like so. Just gonna tap a little bit more of the darkness around the middle. That. And so we're not going to do the middle yet. We're going to wait for that part to dry, like the rest of this to dry, and then we'll go back in because I don't want it to bleed into those colors. And while we're waiting for that to dry, we're going to do our rose. So I'm going to do a really light pinkish peachy rose, which I think is a really nice contrast. And I'm just going to put it above here because I'm going to want some of these colors to bleed into it. By just gently touching it. Like that. Now if it bleeds too much like that and you don't like it, just wash off your brush, dry it, and then go back over it, kind of push it back. But don't use a lot of water. Make sure it's a bit more dry because then you're going to get a funky pattern. Okay, and then you go back in with your color. Oops. Tap around more towards the middle. Like that. Okay, so we have our rose, and then we're going to do another little one right there just to balance it out. Again, you can touch the other flowers if you want. Like that, but just a small one. Like so. Okay. Now I'm going to move on to, actually, now I'm gonna just do another, like that other flower. It's kind of like carnation-y like, and I'm just gonna put it over here just to add some color. Just kind of rough little petals. You can even add a little bit one right here if you want. Just kind of try and balance it out. It doesn't have to be symmetrical, but that's kind of how I do my paintings. I just kind of look where it could use some color and just space it out accordingly. But I think it just takes practice. Okay, so now we're going to do pine cones on some of the pine needles. So I'm going to take some brown, and since we haven't done our pine needles yet, but I'm going to do the pine cones first. So I'm just going to do really small ones, like that. And that way, maybe one over here. And then I'm going to do the pine needles behind it. And do one up here. Like that. And I'm going to go back in with my smaller brush just so I don't overwhelm it with water. Just go back in and add a little bit of darkness. Mop up some of this water on here just by drying it on my paper towel and then going back in. Okay. Okay, like that. And then we're going to do our pine needles there. So I'm going to take my brown and I'm just going to do kind of the middle part, the stem. Then I'm going to go get my green. Oops, not that green. And I'm just gonna do short little pine needles. And it's okay if you touch the pine cones. Get some dark in there. Back in with my brown and just do the stem again. You can add more darkness back on the pine cones if it's starting to dry. Like that. And there's some pine needles. And I might do some more in a bit, but I'm just gonna now move on to some bigger greenery. So I'm making my dark green by mixing a dark purple and a dark green together to get the nice hunter green. And I'm just gonna do some big leaves here. Greenery. I'm gonna go back in, just add some darker color, like that. Okay, now I'm gonna do some eucalyptus. So I'm gonna take that same dark green, but I'm gonna water it down to make it lighter. And I'm just gonna pick some spots where I think some eucalyptus can go. So I'm gonna do the stem and then use the shape of my brush put it in different places. Okay. Just by doing light pressure, heavy pressure, light pressure to do these leaves. Maybe one more over here. Some more color and just go back where the stem that is. Okay. All right, so we got some eucalyptus leaves going. Those are the willow eucalyptus. Okay. I'm gonna add now some cedar. Am I? Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna take my green, my purple, I'm gonna do some darker. Am I? Yes. So I'm just gonna do a line and then some smaller lines. And then you're just doing little short needles on each of the little parts. Like that. Pick another spot you want to put it. Like that. Okay, and now we're gonna do some berries. So you're gonna take your red and put it where you think it could use some color or there's some extra space. Leaving a tiny little bit of white. Put some there. We'll put some here. Like that. Maybe I'll put some, just a couple here. Like that, and now I'm gonna get my brown. I'm just gonna do the stem connecting to the berries. Do these little lines on top. Now I'm just going to do some pine needles coming from around there too, but like longer ones. That, and I feel like I could use something over. Let me see. A lot of it is just standing back and seeing what you think you could add, what might look good. So there's a bit more white space over here that I feel like I'm gonna add maybe one of these kind of pine needles. I got my brown, I get my green. Maybe do a smaller one too. Maybe some over here. Go back in with your brown. Do the stem. Like that. And I'm gonna go back into these pine cones. Even though it's already dried, I'm just gonna add some darkness under each of the little bits so it looks more like a pine cone. Like so. Like that. Okay. Now, I'm gonna add a bit of these light greeny bits to part of the eucalyptus. It's like seedy little bits. Okay, and then last but not least, we're going to do the middle of the anemones, and then we are done. So I'm going to take my dark indigo color and black, or you could just use black, and I'm just going to create a rough circle. Like that, and then just do dots around. Like so. And there is your winter bouquet.
Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram for more. Have a great day, guys. Bye.